Yes, there seems to be several speakers for the same group, so I'm just looking at it from NYTWA. There's several speakers, so if you wouldn't mind, in the interest of time, if we could do a group presentation, and I'm going to ask the same for other groups where there's several speakers representing the same group, so that everybody gets a chance to share.
Oh, I think most of them are in the other room.
Okay. Do you want to call them out, and you can start and they can join you? Okay, thank you.
Sure. Good afternoon. My name is Bhairavi Desai. I'm the Executive Director of the New York Taxi Workers Alliance. I would like to say that we are in strong support of the passage of these rules. What makes absolutely no sense is that, first of all, there's nothing in these rules that is explicitly harmful to the drivers. If anything, we would like to see further development of the rules to include things that would be protective of drivers. For example, a minimum fare requirement so drivers are not undercut when an app, reduces the fare to like $8 or $5, and meanwhile the driver has purchased a vehicle at $60,000 to $70,000. You can't make ends meet when you pay that much for a car and they keep cutting your fares. It's unconscionable, and it just pits drivers against each other on the streets while these companies bear no responsibilities. In fact, we also think that there should be a cap on the commission that these companies charge to the drivers. So while we don't see anything harmful to the drivers, in further development, we would like to see these protective measures be put into the rules in the future for the drivers. What really makes no sense is the fact that the main company that's out here creating all the drama and the circus, that they're against these rules and regulations, in fact, where they have an app for the taxi industry, have to apply for an e-hail license. So if you have to apply for a license in order for your app to be used to call a yellow or green cab, why should you not be under rules and regulations if your app is going to be used to call a black car? It's completely fair, and it makes no sense. Besides, really the only reason that they created all this drama is because they are fundamentally against regulation. If in these rules you required that all of these multi-billion-dollar apps had to provide a livable income and health insurance and a pension plan to every single driver, I assure you, they still would have sent messages every 15 minutes to the drivers saying, oh no, the TLC is going to pass rules that is going to destroy us and take away your jobs. I mean, it's the, from the labor union movement perspective, it is just like the sleaziest thing to do for a bunch of billionaires to try to put drivers as the front face of an anti-regulation agenda. Everybody in this industry gets regulated. Everybody gets regulated. There should not be special treatment just because these are corporations that have more billions, to throw around on an anti-regulation agenda. Lastly, I would just like to say that, we would like to very much, appreciate the Port Authority in being cooperative with the rules that the TLC has proposed. I mean, black car drivers, we have many members ourselves, will tell you they've always used a lot. If I can show you pictures of what's happening at the airports, nobody can move around. Not the yellows, not the black cars, not even the private planes, and it is utter chaos. And we as a city, that is like the biggest city in this country, with millions of tourists, we have a responsibility to not have the chaos be the first thing that people see when they get off those airplanes and onto city streets. And so this rule is extremely necessary. We think more should be done, especially at LaGuardia Airport, in light of the construction, which has essentially taken away the taxi line outside of Terminal C, the Delta Terminal. Finally, I would actually like to say that, in other parts of the country where these same companies have relentlessly lobbied for no regulation, the professional regulated licensed taxi drivers can barely make $100 booking I'm not talking about their take-home pay. I mean, they're literally just their booking for the night. They call themselves TNCs, Transportation Network Companies, in cities and states where they directly dispatch to private individuals, not professional TLC licensed drivers, to private individuals with personal cars and personal insurance. Same thing that they're trying to get passed in New York State, and I assure you they will not succeed. But in those states where they have the TNC model, not only are the professional licensed drivers not earning a living, even the TNC drivers themselves are going deeper into poverty. Because at the end of the day, what this entire unregulated model is really about is making a full-time profession for generations and generations into a gig, where it is part-time, subservient labor, where you have no guarantee of any kind of income or any kind of protection. And for these companies are raking in billions and billions of dollars, and they're doing it at the expense of the drivers, and they're doing it at the expense of the consumers. And so to New York City, which is the biggest taxi industry in this country, I want to say to you, Commissioner Joshi, we applaud you. We're thankful for your integrity. We compel all of you, members of the commission, do not be swayed by these billion-dollar companies. Please do the right thing. These rules are a small step, but they are only fair and they're absolutely necessary. Thank you.